Hello, everyone. My name is Brendan Frey. I'm the founding scientist and the chief executive officer of Deep Genomics. And I'm pleased to be speaking with you today about myself and about the company and our goals to help patients with Wilson disease. This is my first time doing one of these from home and pre-recording it. I've got my notes here. So when I'm looking down, that's what I'm doing. So bear with me. I'll hope to make it dynamic and engaging. Normally I'd be in front of the audience and looking you in the eye and interacting more directly. I'm not a typical CEO, so I'd like to tell you a bit about myself first. I've spent the past 15 years working to understand and treat genetic disease, but I had a very different life before that. In the 1990s, I was an artificial intelligence researcher. We built computer systems that could learn from experiences and use that knowledge to make good predictions in new situations. I was quite successful. I was asked to advise universities such as Stanford University and also leading companies such as Microsoft Research. In those days, I helped to create a field of artificial intelligence that's now known as deep learning. This is the technology that's disrupting all sorts of areas in our lives, everything from farming through to your cell phone, converting your speech to text. In 2002, I faced a personal crisis. My partner at the time was pregnant, and we found out that there was a genetic problem. We saw a genetic counselor, and the counselor told us that it could be nothing or it could be a big deal. It was a very difficult time for us. I came to realize there are many, many people dealing with similar difficult situations and much worse. I realized that the biology of human genetics is too complex for humans to understand. It made me realize that what we needed was superhuman intelligence to crack the problem of understanding the genetics of disease and developing therapies to treat those diseases. So I decided to turn all this artificial intelligence firepower that I had in my hands towards the goal of fighting genetic disease. For the next 13 years, my research group successfully built and tested artificial intelligence systems that could determine the genetic causes of disease and ways to treat those diseases. Our work was published in leading-edge journals such as Nature magazine and highlighted on the covers of those journals. And it was also on the front pages of newspapers like the New York Times. By 2015, our artificial intelligence systems were so powerful that it was time to bring them to patients. So I founded Deep Genomics. Our mission is to build and use artificial intelligence to discover and develop better genetic medicines to help patients. What's different about Deep Genomics is how we develop those medicines. We use the best artificial intelligence and genome biology data to develop new ways to treat genetic disorders. Although we use the same standard techniques that others use to test the safety and the effectiveness of our medicines, our artificial intelligence technology enables us to bring better opportunities to patients. I'm going to show you a few slides that illustrate our approach. First, a little bit about proteins, which are crucial for human health. To make proteins, cells first read the instructions contained in DNA. These instructions are written using the genetic alphabet of A, C, G, and T. After interpreting the DNA instructions, cells make RNA, which is then used to make protein. You can think of RNA as the molecule that carries the message between the DNA and the protein. Many rare diseases are caused by genetic mutations, which are changes to the letters in the DNA. Our potential therapies target these genetic diseases. Mutations in the DNA get transferred to the RNA, and then the proteins that are made don't work properly, or not enough protein is made. For a single rare disease, there may be thousands of mutations to look at and hundreds of different ways of trying to fix the problem. On top of that, there may be hundreds of thousands of potential drugs to search through, but only a few that work. Sifting through so many possibilities to find those that may help is incredibly time-consuming and complicated for human scientists. That's where our artificial intelligence technology offers advantages. Artificial intelligence enables us to quickly find good solutions and decrease the time and effort needed to develop therapies. There are two main ways our artificial intelligence can be used to help us develop medicines. First, we use artificial intelligence to rapidly examine all the possibilities and identify mutations and ways of fixing the genetic problem. I mentioned that there may be thousands of mutations and hundreds of different ways to fix the problem, so having a computer do the work is a big boost. This artificial intelligence can do this job because it's seen billions and billions of measurements having to do with how cells process DNA, RNA, and proteins. That's why it's able to make accurate predictions, which help us develop potential therapies. Second, we use artificial intelligence to design lead therapeutic candidates. For a specific disease, our artificial intelligence can assess hundreds of thousands of different potential targeted therapies to find the ones that are most likely the best. These are then verified in our biology lab. Again, a big boost. The specific kind of medicine we're developing is called a steric blocking oligonucleotide, or SBO in short. They modify the natural way in which cells process RNA. Steric blocking oligonucleotides attach to a specific place in the RNA and modify how the RNA is processed naturally by the cell and how a protein is built. In some cases, a steric blocking oligonucleotide restores production of the normal protein. In other cases, it restores the normal amount of the protein, or it prevents the production of a toxic protein. These therapies could stop, prevent, or possibly reverse the symptoms of a genetic disease. Wilson disease is caused by mutations in the gene ATP7B. Using the approach I just described, we are working on genetic medicines that can potentially restore the ATP7B protein and address 40% or more of patients with Wilson disease. Our program is aiming to address both the neurological symptoms as well as liver function. It is important for you to know that currently there are no approved therapies that restore the ATP7B protein. We're partnering with the Wilson Disease Association and with physicians around the world to help ensure that our drug will meet the needs of Wilson disease patients. I have two calls to action for you. The first is free genetic testing. Genetic testing for Wilson disease will provide further confirmation of your diagnosis and help you understand which clinical trials you may be eligible for. Additionally, genetic testing can help identify other family members who may be at risk and provide guidance. And if you wish, you can participate in a large study of clinical records that will help us and other researchers better understand the disease and how to treat it. Deep Genomics has partnered with a well-respected clinical lab to offer free genetic testing. Clear and transparent measures are in place to ensure patient privacy. For more information on our genetic testing program and our study of medical records, I ask you to check our website. The second call to action is that I invite you to visit our virtual booth in the exhibit hall. There, you can meet Deep Genomics staff and learn more about our programs and studies. I hope my short presentation helped you understand myself, my company Deep Genomics, and our commitment to working with the Wilson Disease Association, physicians, and patients to help treat Wilson disease patients. We would like to hear from you. We look forward to being part of this community, and we also look forward to a great partnership. Thank you for your time.